Good Tuesday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Conversations Daily News. Glad you all could be with us. Of course, you have your news headlines coming up on this Tuesday. Have a message from my book, Words That Choose to Live By. And in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you're part of my conversation with Director Kevin Duncan Wong. He joined me on Conversations Live's radio show to talk about his brand new film, Home as a Hotel. You don't want to miss that. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Tuesday headlines. In international news, Israeli troops push deeper into Gaza and free Hamas captive as Palestinian civilians' toll rises. Israeli troops and tanks pushed deeper into Gaza on Monday, freeing a soldier held captive by Hamas militants and advancing on two sides of the territory's main city. The UN and medical staff warned that airstrikes have hit closer to hospitals where tens of thousands of Palestinians have sought shelter alongside thousands of wounded. The military said a female soldier captured during Hamas' brutal October 7th incursion was rescued in Gaza, the first since the weeks-long war began. It provided few details, but said in a statement that the individual was doing well and had met with her family. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu welcomed her home, saying the achievement by Israel's security forces illustrates our commitment to free all the hostages. He also rejected calls for a ceasefire to facilitate the release of captives or end the war, which he has said will be long and difficult. Calls for a ceasefire are calls for Israel to surrender to Hamas, he told a news conference. That will not happen, he said. He also said he has no plans to resign in the face of mounting anger over the failure of Israel's vaunted security forces to prevent the surprise attack on the country, the worst in half a century. Hamas and other militant groups are believed to be holding some 240 captives, including men, women, and children. Netanyahu has faced mounting pressure to secure their release, even as Israel wages a punishing war it says is aimed at crushing Hamas and ending its 16-year rule over the territory. Hamas, which has released 4 hostages, has said it would let the others go in return for thousands of Palestinian prisoners held by Israel, including many implicated in deadly attacks on Israelis. Israel has dismissed the offer, and Netanyahu said the ground invasion creates the possibility of getting the hostages out, adding that Hamas will only do it under pressure. Hamas released a short video Monday purporting to show 3 other female captives. One of the women delivers a brief statement, likely under duress, criticizing Israel's response to the hostage crisis. It was not clear when the Hamas video was made. The Associated Press usually refrains from reporting details of hostage videos because they show individuals speaking under duress and are often used for propaganda purposes. Conversations Daily News is following that model. The military has been vague about its operations inside Gaza, including the location and number of troops. Israel has declared a new phase in the war, but stopped short of declaring an all-out ground invasion, even as it has deployed tens of thousands of troops to the border. In national news, Biden wants to move fast on AI safeguards and signs an executive order to address his concerns. President Joe Biden on Monday signed an ambitious executive order on artificial intelligence that seeks to balance the needs of cutting-edge technology companies with national security and consumer rights, creating an early set of guardrails that can be fortified by legislation and global agreements. Before signing the order, Biden said AI is driving change at warp speed and carries tremendous potential as well as perils. AI is all around us, Biden said. To realize the promise of AI and avoid the risk, we need to govern this technology, he said. The order is an initial step that is meant to ensure that AI is trustworthy and helpful rather than deceitful and destructive. In more national news, Maine mass shooter had numerous run-ins with authorities, showed warning signs long before shooting, says the Associated Press. Authorities in Maine spent Monday piecing together the events that led to the worst mass shooting in the state's history, with the suspect's record of interaction with police and warning signs involving mental illness and violent threats emerging as key threads. Those same authorities are facing growing scrutiny over how the shooter was able to keep his guns and remain on the street despite exhibiting signs that he might commit violent acts. The individual who Conversations Daily News is not naming is a suspected shooter who was found dead on Friday of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, underwent a mental health evaluation last summer after he began acting erratically at an Army training facility in New York. And finally, in business news, General Motors reaches tentative agreement with UAW, potentially ending 6-week strike. Facing the loss of another $200 million this week to a lengthy strike, General Motors CEO wrapped up her weekend by going to the United Auto Workers Detroit headquarters, intent on getting a new contract. Joined by manufacturing chief Gerald Johnson at the meeting that started late Sunday, they were able to close a deal with the UAW president and other bargainers early Monday that should end a contentious 6-week work stoppage. Three-person briefed on the matter said on Monday to the Associated Press. All three companies agreed to raise general wages by 25% for top assembly plant workers and add cost of living adjustments that would bring their pay increases to over 30% by the time the contracts end. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Tuesday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. Your life, with all its twists and turns, is not a lost cause. It is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become a better individual. Stay the course and watch where it leads you. Have an amazing Tuesday. Kevin Duncan Wong is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Director Kevin Duncan Wong joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about his new film, Home is a Hotel. Here's a bit of our conversation.
Kevin, thank you again for the time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
The pleasure is definitely all mine. I should let our audience know, Kevin, that you literally, at the time we're having this conversation, are at the Austin Film Festival right now. So I want to talk about this experience. You have other film festivals that are coming up going into November. What has it been like for you, Kevin, to see the response to the film?
The response to the film has honestly been really amazing. It's a little bit of a weird film in terms of like its approach to a subject matter, but it's really felt like everybody who's watched the film has really got it. It's really resonated with them. And it's affected them on an emotional level, which is, I think, our goal with the film from the beginning.
Yeah. When I was first pitched this interview with you, Kevin, I was immediately interested for a couple of reasons. Our radio audience here in Mississippi knows that for a decade I was the general manager of a hotel in my home state of Mississippi, where I still live. And so, the fact that you're able to chronicle these individuals who are living in these single room occupancies, we actually had individuals actually in the city where I was in Jackson who actually found themselves in this situation. And so I'm going to let our audience know at the end of our broadcast that they can find out more information about the film. But why was this a story you wanted to be able to tackle, Kevin?
Yeah, definitely. So, like you said, it's definitely a national issue. The issue of the affordability of housing is an issue that is affecting cities across the country, for sure. And I think, a lot of people know that San Francisco is kind of a poster child for that situation. But we saw, we had made a short film about a woman and her daughter that were living in an SRO, a residential hotel in San Francisco, Chinatown. And so for those that don't know, what that means is they have an 8x10 room, and then they share a bathroom and a kitchen with everybody else that's on the floor that they live on.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We're about to get on tomorrow with more news, message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course, your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let us go make today amazing. Take care.